Today we are here with Drew Green. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, man. About yourself?
Pretty well. Keeping busy. How about yourself?
Good, man. Good. Just been on the road. Been getting used to the world being back open. So it's been a lot of fun, man.
Definitely. So I know that you started previously as a house band at Tootsie's downtown
Yeah.
Nashville. Also a songwriter. I mean, you wrote a song for FGL. For our readers, just to get to know you a little bit better, could you share maybe your backstory and how you got into music?
Well, long story short, try to be short.
Mhm.
I started in the honky tonks downtown on Broadway. Uh, when I was in college at Tennessee Tech, which was about 2 hours away, I was playing, the early shifts, just getting used to it, and fell in love with it. But I
Mhm.
completed college. With a finance degree. I started working in the bank, and I missed playing downtown. So I gave him a call back. I started working downtown. I played 4 years on Broadway and met Hunter Phelps, who's a songwriter who's had a lot of success more recently with as a songwriter. And we wrote a long time together, and which led to my cut with Florida Georgia Line, Colorado, which led to me getting a publishing deal. And I had a publishing deal. I signed a publishing deal in 2018 with Warner Chappell and Cornman Music, which is Brett James, who is uh, Grammy, 30 number ones, or something. And about a year after my publishing deal, I had texted Brett to get breakfast to try to pitch some songs to other artists to see, just to get his approval on some songs. And he listened to about 28 songs in my truck that morning, and he had told me that he thought I was ready for a record deal if I wanted one. And I said, of course, that's been a dream since I was 12, and I had a record deal a week later with Sony, and it was very quick and very pretty. It was, from one extreme to the next, from one, me and my wife wondering what we're going to do to survive and to
Yeah.
having a record deal the next week. So it was pretty quick. And now, and as soon as I got a record deal, COVID hit, and but just recently, it's been pretty surreal being back on the road and seeing people singing my songs. And so it's been this year's been great so far.
Definitely. So over the last year, like how have you've been on lots of these Zoom calls doing songwrites with a bunch of different artists? Have you been maybe working with Hardy and Hunter Phelps like you did with Colorado as of recent?
More recently, no. I mean, me and Hardy, we always keep up with each other. This we wrote Colorado literally probably a month before he became Hardy. He was Michael at the time, and it was pretty. It was really crazy to see his success take off, especially in Nashville, because he's a phenomenal songwriter. He's one of the best songwriters I ever wrote with ever. Period. He's very incredible. And Hunter is also, and it was a good day that day. And we're 1-0. Me and Hardy always say we're 1-0 if we've brought one song together and we've got it cut. So we've had a couple ideas I pitched to him or we've talked about writing, and we're just gonna wait until there's one that feels like Colorado before
Yeah,
we're going for 2-0.
definitely.
But
I mean,
but he's been so busy, and I've been so busy. Hunter's busy as well. Hunter's with Ashley Gorley writing. Hunter's writing with a bunch of big artists. So, but I think me and Hunter are actually writing tomorrow. So, but yeah, it's been pretty busy for everybody. We haven't got together that much.
so maybe tomorrow your next big song's gonna come in the songwriting session, right? I mean, so who would you say are like a few of your like biggest influences when it comes to songwriting and making your own music?
Well, before I got into songwriting, I really wasn't into the songwriting like guru. I didn't know much about songwriting at all, really. And what's crazy is that when I met Brett James,
Mm.
uh, I was like, "Wow, you wrote all these songs." He was probably one of my biggest influence, and now he's one of my best friends. He's my manager, so it's like
Yeah,
it's crazy to have one of your biggest influences really believe in you as a person. And he's my biggest fan. So it's pretty crazy.
it's a
But
full
I've
right
always
there.
loved Dean Dillon. Is wrote a lot of George 70. He's got more cuts than anybody. I mean, that's a big fan of him. A big fan of success. Ashley Gorley's got 50 number ones. I mean, anybody that's had a lot of success as a songwriter, I like to study and see why or how and what makes them that good, because that you can't have that much talent. You know, you are talented if you've got that much much done.
Definitely. I mean, have you gotten to sit down and write anything with your manager yet?
Oh yeah, we've wrote a bunch. We actually got one that I'm hopefully going to be putting out coming up pretty soon. Hopefully, we write probably once a month. You know, we're both. He's busy. I'm busy. This year's been the least I've wrote in probably 7 years, and it's really hard. I always said, you know, as soon as I get a record deal, I ain't changing nothing. I'm still going to be writing songs
Mhm.
every day, because I was writing 6 or 7 songs a week before I got a record deal, and now I'm writing one a week, and it's like, man, but also, you know, it's a good problem to have. I've just been real busy, man.
I mean, over the summer, you even welcomed your second child. I mean, how do you balance fatherhood with your music career? Is it tough sometimes?
Oh yeah, it's tough, just like anybody would think it would be. It's hard. You try to manage everything, and luckily, very fortunate to have a very independent, gets it, pushes for me wife. I mean, my wife is uh great. I mean, she don't if she don't if I could be gone 2 weeks and she probably wouldn't complain
Yeah.
about it. You know, she's really supportive and knows the long term goal, and hopefully you know, all this will work out, and we won't have. She's a nurse practitioner, so
Mhm.
her job kind of got me to this point.
Yeah.
Paying, she pretty much paid for me. I was like the homeless roommate until uh until more recently, but
Plus,
it's
she's
been
probably been super busy over the last year for sure.
oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, she was full force into that. And now that we've got we just had a baby, my daughter, and so it's uh I try to, you know, I'm only you know, people say it's, you know, you're gone all the time, this and that. It is very busy in long days and nights, but
Yeah,
there's always time to work in family. You know, you have, that's number one.
definitely. I mean, some artists even build their whole career around their family
Absolutely.
and seem to love that stuff. But you recently played your first show back since the pandemic took over the whole world and everything was shut down. I mean, what was going through your mind when you first stepped back onto that stage? It was like, wow, finally, this is here. There's a crowd here that don't even need to be
I
masked
know.
anymore at this point. I mean, it's just been a
It
crazy
was
year.
the craziest one was like right when things started getting okay. Like, it still wasn't even sure if it was okay to do it yet. It was like
Yeah.
right there at that moment. I played a show for about 800 people, and just looking out at 800 people shoulder to shoulder was like almost like I'd never seen it before. And it was it you know, I was nervous. I mean, I've been playing shows my whole life, almost. I mean, for years, you know, for 10 years, and I was like, it's nothing, you know. And I'm sitting here right before I go on stage, my heart's racing like I'm about to jump out of a plane. It's a great. I love that feeling too. That's what got me into doing this business, anyways. That adrenaline. You
Yeah.
know, this past weekend we opened up for Hank Jr., which was like, you know, a dream come true since I was a kid. You know, want to do that. You know, like, and it was like 9,000 people, and
Insane.
uh, you know, I was breathless. You know, it was speechless, kind of. You know, standing out there, I even had a moment with him. You know, it was like, holy crap,
That's
this is happening
insane.
right now. Yeah, it
I
was
mean, what
fun.
was it like performing Family Tradition with him?
Oh my gosh! My manager, you know, told me, he's like, Hank, you know, said Hank wants to get you up to sing Family Tradition with him because he knows you sing it every day in the honky tonks. And I was like, no way, I'm not doing it, not doing it. I was like, I'm scared, and I was nervous, man, because I've heard a lot of stories about how, you know, Hank's Bocephus, man. He's crazy. You never know what he's gonna do. And uh, so I got up there, and he said, you know, Drew, sing it, and it was awesome. It went as good as it could possibly go, and for how nervous I was, and it was pretty surreal.
Yeah, that definitely would be a pretty insane moment to have with him on stage. I mean, I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's talk about your latest single, The Rest of Our Lives. I mean, could you tell us how that song came to be? It seems to have become like the new anthem for weddings. It's been all over
Yeah,
TikTok. You even gave away a wedding, right?
yeah. What's crazy is that I didn't. This song was not even in my short list of songs to cut, because and I don't know why. Now looking back, it's like, man, I'm crazy. But as soon as it took off on TikTok and me singing it in my truck, we knew that it was time. We had to cut it. I mean, you know, that we had to cut it. We had to
Yeah.
put it out, and so we did that. And you know, I got about, I don't know how many, but I know that it was over 200 messages on Instagram and TikTok about me performing it at their wedding, or them trying to get before it was out, trying to get the MP3 so that they could play it at their wedding, you know, and it became a frenzy of a bunch of girls getting married wanting this song. And it was the coolest feeling ever, really. You know, like there's a billion songs to pick from, and they're wanting to use this song for me. And so it was all off a TikTok video of me singing in my truck. It's crazy. TikTok's a beast, and it's an animal, and it's one of those things where now, so I was like, man, I could at least go play this at somebody's wedding, and we actually had one planned, and my father-in-law actually passed away due to COVID, so I couldn't go play that one. So I was like, well, let's just do a sweepstakes, and so we went through another company and we did a full blown. We've got like over 500 something people.
Wow.
Have signed up for me to go play their wedding, which is and that's crazy to me. It's crazy.
I mean,
So
definitely.
I don't think they've picked a winner yet. I think that the sweepstakes is definitely over, but I haven't heard where I'm going or what I'm doing yet. But I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, so you released your debut EP, Dirt Boy, back in September 2020. Are you in the process of working on volume 2 of that, or is there going to be a volume 2? Maybe
Oh
even
yeah.
debut full length?
Well, volume 2 was done when volume 1 came out, so it was I've been waiting very patiently for it. It should be coming. I mean, as a matter of fact, we're supposed to find out today the next upcoming events. I think we're about to put a single out to radio. I know we have the actual song "Dirt Boy" is hopefully the next song we got coming out. Not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on that. But I think it's the next one, and we've been playing it live, and it's been going over really great. So we think it's the one to really push. There's been talks about an album, but Dirt Boy Volume 1 might turn into just Dirt Boy album, or it might be Dirt Boy Volume 2, which turn into another album. I'm not sure. The good thing is I've been writing for 6 or 7 years. I've got a lot of songs to go through, and it almost becomes a hassle of what songs we're going to cut. And we've been keeping it, you know, this Dirt Boy thing's going good for me. That's where I'm from. It's my roots. So we're just going to start with that and see where that takes us. So I think Dirt Boy Volume 2, if it or an album, will be out this year, if not this fall at the minimum.
Cool. So going back to the topic of being a songwriter, how do you decide like what songs you want to cut for yourself, and then like what songs you potentially want to go and pitch to another artist or just put out there for someone else to cut?
Well, over time, it's been hard. It was really hard for me to pick, like, to do the artist thing in general, just because I would write a song that I would really, really love, and it wouldn't feel like some songs wouldn't feel country enough, or it wouldn't feel. I was worried about being country for some reason, and now it's like, now that I can really, once I got a record deal though, it was like all the doors open for me to be me, and just really, you know, I like writing about where I'm from, and writing about what I grew up doing, and because a lot of people in country music do what I, you know, grow up with, our farmers, you know, so a lot of my songs are for the farmer, or for you know, the dirt boy, whatever, you know, whatever that is to somebody. So I really took that to heart, like, wow, people actually do want to hear songs about, you know, what I did, you know, 'cause that was my hardest part, is picking songs. Like, well, no one wants to hear about a dirt boy, or, you know, but they do, and that's what. And so whenever I come up with an idea like that fits along with that format, then I'll say, you know, this one's a me song, you know, and sometimes I'll have a song picked out for Luke Bryan in my head, or Blake Shelton, that I'm trying to write for somebody, and then it'll turn into a me song because I can't help it. You know,
they're like your own children, to be honest.
No, man, you have no idea. It really, to me, it's been. I've always called them my kids. You know, I've been, and some of them get old and don't even, like, don't, you know, you don't hear them for a while, and you hear, like, what am I doing? I got to cut this song, you know, or there's just a lot of songs that get wasted, and they'll never see the light of day, and it's almost sad, you know. It's crazy.
I can only imagine the catalogs that every artist that writes their own music,
it's crazy
backlogged. But so are there any songwriters or artists out there that you would just love the opportunity to work with, or maybe even wanted to work with and then finally got to work with?
Since now we're in the artist, you know, category, it's like there's a lot of people that I would love to, like, collab with and, like, do a song with. I guess that's the, you know, the future, maybe, you know, a lot of people are doing collabs. So we're looking into doing that. I'll try to venture out and try to get people outside of country. You know, like I grew up on hip hop as well. So, you know, like I grew up on a group called Nappy Roots, which was like a country hip hop group, you know. So I would love to do a song with them, or write with them. I don't even know what they're doing. I don't even know if they're doing music anymore. But you know, when it comes to country, I've always, you know, I'm a fan of new country. I'm a fan of being current and striving. You know, Hardy's my boy. I like doing Jameson Rogers is my boy. Like I like doing stuff with my team, you know, with people that I like and have grown up, you know, learning with. So I would like to do some stuff with some of them.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty cool to have Hardy on a track. I mean,
Yeah,
he's made some waves over the last year, just in general, the last year. I mean, he's had cuts with, I mean, pretty much
everyone.
everyone. I can't not think of an
He's
artist
the
that
radio,
hasn't.
ain't
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and now his own music is finally making its way onto the radio and making, I mean, he has number ones now for himself.
he? Yeah.
But coming up next month in early August, I know you're going to be performing alongside Brooks and Dunn. I mean, Motley Crue's Vince Neil, Jamie Johnson, and so many other crazy, amazing artists like Alan Jackson and stuff at the Music City Grand Prix. Like, can you tell us maybe what you're the most looking forward to about that event coming up in Nashville?
And just to go back to your last question, because you just said Alan Jackson. Now, Alan Jackson would be my number one by far. Someone to write with or collab with, do anything with is Alan Jackson. He's the reason I'm in country music, really. But
Yeah.
but yeah, coming up, you know, you saying that, I didn't even know that those people were on that list. So
Yeah,
now I'm
the 4
nervous.
days specifically. On a Friday, you're performing alongside Brooks and Dunn, Motley Crue's Vince Neil, Jamie Johnson, Tyler Farr, and several other people who I don't even think have been announced yet. But so far, those are announced. And
Wow.
I mean,
So I'm opening that. We're the first ones, I think. I think we're opening that whole show up. So we're gonna bring it.
for sure. I mean, I know in a previous interview, you even mentioned that you were a big fan of Brooks and Dunn growing up. So, I mean, it's almost like a
Yeah,
full circle moment. You'll probably get to meet them.
that's
Maybe
crazy.
you even get to hit the stage with them during their set.
Yeah, that'd be crazy, man. I mean, I used to sing. My mom has a video of me singing "Brand New Man" to my I think it's that song. Yeah, "Brand New Man" to my grandpa on his deathbed, dude. I mean, I was like I was 2 years. I could sing before I could talk, really.
Mhm.
It's
So, I
crazy.
mean, what's next for you in 2021 coming up?
Well, once we figure out these songs, we're gonna put out. Hopefully, get a song on the radio. Is our next hopeful moment?
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to sit down with us
Yeah,
today.
thank
Really
you, man.
appreciate
Appreciate
it.
it. Anytime.
And look forward to your set at Music City Grand Prix and all the new music coming.
Yeah, appreciate it. Y'all. Music Mayhem has been one of the first people to ever I think one of the first interviews I ever did was with y'all.
Yeah,
So I appreciate y'all
I
being
think we
there from the
actually
beginning.
premiered one of your music videos earlier on when you a little more be all right, I think it was called.
Yeah, that's the first one, man. Y'all been here since the beginning, so I appreciate y'all for being supportive.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, bud.